So everybody said, well, why do you need discounts and this type of thing? The time value of money, I'll give you an example. I bought a Lexus in 2002, I paid $26,000 for it. I bought another one in 2014. What do you think it was? What was the price on it?
50.
About that 50 grand. So if you want to buy one today and you want to save enough money, you want to save 50 grand, it's going to take you 9 years to get it done. Making the basic payment, figure out how you're going to have that $50,000. Now your payment is going to be right at $69,000 to buy that same vehicle. So that's an inflationary thing that comes into play. Everything is right now. They're saying inflation is 3.5%. Obviously, they don't have kids or grandkids, and they haven't bought shoes for these people. You can't buy something for 3.5% more than it was last year. Does everybody agree with that? The only thing that you can actually buy that is not totally absurd on increases is food. If you talk about just your basic foods, that's because Congress controls all the subsidies on agriculture. They want cheap food makes happy people, and so they say, oh, we're giving them support value of $5 on wheat. No, you gave them a ceiling of $5, because once that market gets to above $5, everybody will sell it to the government, okay? So they froze it basically at $5. Whether you're getting a subsidy, if anything less than that, you get up to $5. Anything more than that, yeah. So just remember that the people that make these decisions are not your friends necessarily, but they did keep cheaper food on the table. Where you're paying more is the fact that a box of cornflakes will be about the size of this screen, and it has less in it than the little box I used to get. Okay? So it's in the packaging, it's in the way they present everything. And that's the way that the pricing is done, and that's how the inflation eats you up in the grocery store. The majority of, I figure it takes about $17. I get paper or plastic bags because I'm not politically correct. Okay, I don't do that stuff. My wife uses the bag you paid money to buy. But I take the total bill and I divide it by the number of grocery bags that we put in the cart. And it doesn't matter. It's always about $17 a bag. So, get 10 bags, I got $170 worth of groceries. That usually means meat and all the other goofy stuff that we buy, light bulbs, toilet paper, paper towels. That's where our cost is on those type of things. So if you take and say, okay, how much money do I have to put in the bank for it to make me $170? It's a buttload of money, and I do that every week. Okay, not every week, but I mean sometimes I only get 2 bags, $34. I feel lucky. But so the bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. So I'm not going to pay $100,000 for something that in the future is going to be worth less, even though it's at 10%. I start my deals at around 16 to 18% yields to me. That's where I buy. The second thing I look at is, what is this asset that's backing this thing worth? Is it worth 100 grand? Well, if it is, the loan is 100% loan to value. I don't do that. So I never pay more than 75% of what the value of the asset is on the deal. And by doing that, it gives me that built-in discount, and I want to make sure that if it goes south, and they do, that I'm going to be able to foreclose it, get my money back out of it. And we say, well, yeah, but you're making 30 grand. Maybe, maybe not. The only time I make my yield is when I'm totally paid back. Everything up until that point in time is cash flow, but overall, the life of the deal is the total number of payments. When I get all paid back, all my money back in my pocket, plus the agreed upon interest, that's how I calculate my yield. It's somewhat deceiving because it also assumes, when I use the calculator and it says I'm getting a 15% yield, I have to keep those payments coming in, making 15% also. That's the only way you get the yield on 100% of that deal. Because as the money comes back in, it no longer is making money for you. But you did get a good return, much better than the bank will give you. Okay? But, so yes.
Those numbers again, you said 16 to 18% returns is where you start.
That's my
and
yield.
Then you expect that, there was one other figure, 75% or something?
But I will not, if that number exceeds 70% of the actual value of this deal, let me give you an example. Somebody bought a $100,000 house from these people and they carried 90 grand. and they did it yesterday.
Okay,
That borrower only has 10% in there, and assuming that 100 is real, I double check that also. But if that's a real number, I'm at 90% loan to value. I don't want that.
so you only want 75% or better?
Max. Will I do better sometimes than that, or higher? Yes, sometimes. But I have to have a set of guidelines to get started, to work down. It's got to really make a lot of sense to me to buy anything else.
So is it 70 or 75?
Well, I start at 70,
Okay.
okay? And you're always going to get pushback. I've never had one guy say, oh yeah, well, that's great, give me a $30,000 discount. No, he's not going to do that. You have to explain to them why this is. What are you going to do with this, go back here. What are you going to do with the money? Well, I'm going to put it in the bank. Okay, so I'm going to give you $100,000 so you can put it in the bank and make one. Clever concept. I mean, it's not going to work too good for you. Well, I'm liable to the safety of it. Well, me too. I'm only willing to pay 70 for safety purposes. Widow, orphan,